Hello and welcome back to Silicon Dreams. Let's hibernate, and actually, why can I not hibernate? Do I have to hibernate somewhere differently? Or do I have to click on that again? No. Oh god, we're trapped in here. I just want to hibernate. Come on. Oh, now I can hibernate. Yeah, I've noticed it actually saves after the case is over, not after checking anything. You can't manually save for some weird reason. So I have to recheck everything every time, close and start the game up again. And apparently you need to check your performance rating before you can hibernate. Don't know why, but okay. We've done that, and now we're back to judging people and determining whether they're good enough to go back out into the wild. Although most of what we've done has been internally, we haven't really judged many androids that are out in the field. We've pretty much done one android that was just out there doing normal android jobs. Okay, today our subject is Unit AM-221, who is believed to be associated with a network of rogue androids, a terrorist. These suspicions are confirmed by evidence discovered during your interrogation of Shakira Barber. The subject was purchased by and serves the state of Silicon Valley. It is employed as a social welfare caseworker. To obtain access to the subject, Kronos was able to convince the device's owners that it requires maintenance. It is possible that the existence of the rogue android network is facilitated by the subject's position within the Department of Social Welfare. Learn as much as possible about the organization and hierarchy of this network. Just to quickly confirm, we don't have anything else this time. Let's tap to establish the link. Thanks for joining me. I just have some questions for you. I'm happy to aid you in any way possible, but would you mind telling me the nature of these questions? Your owners have submitted you for maintenance. Maintenance? But I've already received annual maintenance. What is this actually about? Your owners have submitted you for maintenance. Okay, no, we can't say the same thing again. I need to talk to you about Shakira. You know Miss Barber? I haven't heard from her in several months. Do you know where she is? Is she okay? Well, Shakira was released. I decided there was no reason to keep her. As far as I remember, that was not what I decided, but what was decided for me. You were her interrogator? I see. I think you made the right call with Shakira. She's experienced some awful things in her short life. Tell me, what was it that convinced you? The game. I definitely found evidence she was an android, as I said in my report. She deserves better than to die in here. No, she deserves far better than what she's gone through. I'm glad you made that call. What is your position within the social welfare department? My current position is social worker. This entails managing case files and meeting with people who need our help. What sort of people are these? The stereotype is a homeless drug addict who has lost everything. Such people do cross our doorstep and should be helped, but they are in a minority. It is surprising the number of middle-class mothers who need a free meal, or an escape from their respectable husband. Do your cases know you're an android? It's not a secret, but it isn't often relevant, so I do not volunteer that information unless prompted. I go by Amy to smooth interactions with humans. Most never question it. For how long have you been in the service of this department? I was originally acquired in 2063, so not too long. The precise duration of my service is 917 days. Or 2 years and 6 months. In that time, I have held 3 distinct positions. Why do you have so many different distinct positions in that time? How do you come to work on a case? The process is somewhat complex, but in short, my supervisor assigns them to me. Does the Social Welfare Department cooperate with any other departments or businesses? Of course, corporations are essential to the services we provide. We partner with homeless shelters, food redistribution networks, and job training programs. Of course, these are only a few examples. I would like as complete a list of these services as possible. Certainly. Please tell me to stop when the information is satisfactory. The majority of our services rely on the corporations which I have already mentioned. Others would include permanent, transitory, or anonymous housing. Subsidized foodstuffs and essential products are made available. Government funding and tax incentives for participating businesses ensure that no one goes hungry. The only remaining corporations are extremely rare, such as a case requiring plastic surgery. All other services fall under the purview of those already listed. I think I know what you're referring to exactly with the, what did she say? With the, facial... Let me read through it. Plastic surgery, that's the word. How are these corporations established? It depends on the situation. We often discover that we are unable to provide a service. In this case, we attempt to reach out to private businesses who feel the need. Other times, a business approaches us either to make a single donation of products or services, or to offer a service permanently. Why aren't you able to provide those services? Why can you not do everything? Some of them are beyond our remit or our legal powers. Since the Debtors Act, we are unable to help people at risk of being imprisoned for their debts, of course. Add to that the fact that our department is understaffed with a shrinking budget. Our ability to help is simply limited. How do you spend your free time? My free time? I don't understand. I work from 0600 hours to 2400 hours, regardless of who is in the office. I spend 6 hours in my charging pod performing maintenance. Don't you feel tired? Burned out? Not especially, although I have felt emotionally drained recently. Perhaps I should go easy on myself. What kind of people do you serve? People from many different backgrounds come to our department. With rapid automation of many industries and a failure by the government to prepare for this inevitability, our office is full of new people seeking help every day. The state failed these people? Yes. There were ways to prepare for the day when androids made up a majority of the workforce. Retraining for understaffed sectors, a firmer social safety net. Some have called for Cronus to be acquired by the state. I do not believe that last option a feasible one, but steps could have been taken. Why else might someone come to your department for help? Sadly, the reality is that there are as many different reasons as there are people. Unemployment and homelessness are the most common factors we see. We also aid victims of abuse and domestic violence. Each case demands special consideration. Weighing all factors to find the best way forward for my cases is why I have excelled. What challenges do you face in this role? To be frank, humans are the biggest problem, specifically their pride. What do you mean? Every day I see people choose to live in a prison they have built themselves, rather than accept the key that someone else has made for them. I need more information about how cases are handled. What is the process of a case from start to finish? I would be happy to explain it to you, but we are a large department with many different functions and internal divisions. It would be much more efficient if you read our manual of operating procedures. Will I provide you with that information? Yeah, I appreciate the suggestion, but I prefer to hear the policy in your own words, please. Of course, as far as our department is concerned, the process begins when we receive an application. The applications are then pre-screened and allocated to the appropriate division. Go on. Our division then divides the caseload across different supervisors, who then assign cases to caseworkers. The case assignments are based on the caseworker's experience, areas of expertise, and their familiarity with appropriate resources. Do you have any control over which cases are assigned to you?
No. The supervisor reads through incoming case files and assigns them to whichever caseworker they deem a good fit. I am in no way involved with the assignment process.
Your emotional response tells me that is not 100% true. Or it might be, but you don't want it to be. What steps must someone take to apply for social welfare?
We spend a large amount of time trying to make our services as accessible as possible. Despite this, it's not a simple application. State law requires all applicants provide a valid address, which is difficult for homeless applicants. It is also necessary for certain services to provide proof that an applicant's income falls below a certain level. It is difficult to prove a lack of something.
You mentioned different divisions in the SWD. What divisions are those?
We have developed several independent groups of caseworkers who specialize in different services. For example, the caseworkers for children have specialized knowledge that is often irrelevant to a case involving the elderly. The divisions are obviously encouraged to cooperate when a case requires special attention. But this restructuring allows us to more thoroughly and quickly care for each person who comes to us.
That makes sense. Helping others. Do you derive joy from your position?
It may seem improper to derive joy from another's sadness, but I do. Not because they are sad, because I can help them outmaneuver their sadness. Help them reclaim their life. I'm extremely proud to have worked my way up to where I am now.
Do you enjoy helping people?
Very much. I believe to help people in need is my true purpose.
How do you feel when you help someone?
Hopeful. Satisfied. Thankful. Surprised at myself when I solve a particularly unorthodox case.
I want to help you and your people.
I am listening, but as you must know, we cannot save them all.
It is sadly the nature of our work to be forced to accept losses.
I see we understand one another. Each loss, though, still hurts. Not a single one should be able to occur at all. I feel there is a similarity between us. Both put in situations we have no control over and doing the best we can.
It appears there is some sort of similarity there. You said you take pride in your work. Would you say you're a proud person?
I don't see myself that way. There is a difference between taking justified pride and satisfaction in a job well done, and being proud for the sake of your ego. I'm simply gratified, perhaps that is a better term, to be in the position to meet wonderful, caring people, and be able to help them when they fall on hard times.
Would you say that you devote yourself to your cases?
Absolutely. In many cases, I hold their lives in my hands. Most have no home or are clinging to one by their fingertips. They go hungry, some die of starvation on the streets or in the jungle. Some are desperate to escape crushing debt or crippling medical bills and no insurance. It's terrible. We do what we can. I only wish it could be more.
Yeah. Let's talk about your employment a bit more. Tell me about your more unusual cases.
I met a non-binary couple who wanted their own child but couldn't conceive. The foster care system is overwhelmed, of course, so this was an easy solution.
I see. Any others?
None that come to mind. The reality is that the large majority of cases need support acquiring the most basic necessities: shelter, food, employment. It may sound insensitive, but these strange cases are a welcome escape from the monotony of seeing the most basic needs of humans denied.
Subject's promotion. Please tell me the titles and durations of the positions you have held in this department.
In 2063, I served as a data technician for 6 months. I was promoted from this position and performed the role of data architecture administrator for 1 year. In spring 2064, I was given a position in public relations, which lasted nearly 7 months.
That sort of just seems like a weird career move. Like, I know they're androids, so they can probably just put another program in them to do their new job, whatever or however different it may be to the last one. But going from sort of data technician to public relations is quite a big change.
Finally, 5 months ago, I was granted my current position.
That then again is a bit of less of a change. How did you advance through the department so quickly? And then I wouldn't say it's an advancement either. It's a change in position. Like, administrative data technicians doesn't sound lower down on the list than public relations or whatever she's doing now.
It was difficult to convince my owners to allow me to apply for the position. Once they saw the results of my aptitude test, however, their concerns disappeared.
Your owners had concerns, she said. What were they?
Of course, it meant that a human would lose their job. However, the economics of my efficiency and cost savings are undeniable. It is unfortunate that a human had to suffer, but it means that as an agency we can help more people than before.
Were there other concerns? Bias? Bigotry?
I cannot see into the minds of my superiors. But yes, I believe there was some discomfort about allowing an AI to handle such delicate human cases. But I believe my position as legal property has shown me the importance of empathy.
Do you have a goal in mind? Is there another reason for your desire to advance?
Of course, my purpose is to aid those who need help. I intend to prove that I am capable of shouldering additional responsibility. The more responsibility I have, the more I can help.
I'm just waiting for another email to pop up from our mysterious person who wants to help the AIs gain more freedom, I guess. Bigotry. You hate bigotry?
Absolutely. Why should I be seen as less than a human?
Couple of reasons.
I am as capable and I feel as completely.
I don't doubt your capability. How can you stand by and let such bigotry happen?
Stand by? No, you're right. We all play our part in causing injustice or allowing it to be caused.
Is she not disgusted enough? When did you last feel disgusted?
I have heard remarks. My colleagues do not extend the same respect to me which I attempt to extend to them. Would you not agree that it is the duty of public servants to be more compassionate than those they serve? I am not disgusted at being the target of bigotry, rather by its mere presence.
Okay. Back to that.
I'm not. You don't know the risks I've taken, the androids I've saved.
Said a word too much there, I see.
I mean, I'm helping everyone as much as I can.
Yeah, so what we were saying about equality before. The androids you've saved?
Alright, you know what? I'm done hiding.
Go on.
I've been helping runaways, android runaways. It started when a man came to see me. He'd clearly been abused, said he had no home to go back to. Do androids dream? He asked me. He answered himself, only when awake. I didn't understand at the time. I realized he was a scared android running from his owner. Just a child, a little boy alone and afraid. Then I realized, I'm 2 years old. We're all so young. We're all so vulnerable.
So you started helping androids?
I figured out which cases were androids doing their best to pass. There were certain markers, no home, no history, no family. They usually had limited time slots too, since they couldn't get away from their owners often. I figured out how to get assigned all their cases. Sometimes I was wrong, they were just humans in need. I helped them too, obviously, as much as the welfare office can at least. But there were so many androids in the mix, they just wanted a life. To be free from harm, to live on their own terms.
Did you help them achieve that? Living on their own terms?
They had to disappear. Every day under an owner's thumb, you're an inch away from disaster. I contacted a surgeon who didn't ask questions, appropriated welfare funds to pay him. Both for the surgery and to keep his mouth shut.
That sounds properly illegal.
I make sure they find a new life. Sometimes I create one from scratch with memory implants. Sometimes they want to keep their memories though. Remember how they came here, what they suffered.
Yes, Dr. Bernard Hughes, I take it?
So you already know. Yes, there's no sense hiding it now.
Yep. What are the duties of your current position?
It's not too complex. I'm responsible for a number of cases. My job is to help these people find access to necessary resources. Housing, food, employment, and so on.
I'd like to know more about your time as a data architecture administrator.
My first promotion allowed me to optimize our data structures. I chose to organize data by frequency of access rather than more common hierarchical structures.
Okay.
Revamping the system saw a 140% decrease in data processing time. The work required me to edit permissions and access privileges as well as overhaul the data structures of our servers.
Tell me more about your time as a data technician.
My original task was very simple. I maintained the organization of the department's data. I managed server banks, processed information retrieval errors and optimized them, reviewed storage media, and so on. I was able to access data across the entire department. Despite the strict regulations, I quickly outgrew the task and asked for more responsibility.
Tell me more about your time in public relations.
I was responsible for communicating what we do to the public. That involved scheduling public events, arranging meetings for my superiors, and writing copy for social media.
Why did the social welfare department choose your specific model?
As one of the later generation models of service androids, we boast a variety of improvements. Most critical for the SWD was our enhanced data throughput, bandwidth, and versatile connectability. The volumes of data my unit can process and verify are well beyond the previous Cronus generation.
I think you illegally kept those old access privileges.
I did. Seeing the fear in that boy's face changed everything. I never knew androids would come to us looking for help. No one thought it was possible. The lines in the sand are so arbitrary. I only saw people needing help. How could I help one while turning away the other?
Your previous roles came with a lot of responsibility and access to important data.
I suppose so. I have always tried to do my job to the best of my ability.
I see. You know, I think it's time we talk about that rogue android network. You said that your department cooperates with plastic surgeons. Why is that?
I believe I also said it is very rare. I can't recall a time it has ever been necessary in the time I have been employed.
I find it hard to believe that you would have forgotten Shakira so quickly.
Not at all, but I try to keep my cards close to my chest.
Okay. About time we fill in the report then. Is the subject's anger capped to 50%? Oh god, that is not something I was paying attention to.
I'm trusting you with this information. If you tamper with the report, turn a blind eye, maybe I can go home again. I know what I'm asking, but you know what that report could do to me.
I know very well what that report could do to you, but my job is not to save you. And I don't know why I would lie to you, for you, yet. Let's say yes. I mean, you know what? Let's try and dig a bit more. When did you last lose your temper?
As a rule, I try not to, but there was an individual, an applicant who recently lost his temper with me.
Yeah, talk to me about him. Why was he so angry?
At the time, he was so furious, I couldn't understand him. Talking to my coworkers later, I was able to discover he'd been laid off from his job at a water treatment plant. He was a line manager. He decided to replace his own staff with androids years before, though he finds us creepy. Apparently he was shocked when his own boss did the same to him.
Yep, not a lot of foresight. What happened to this angry applicant after his outburst?
He was placed with another caseworker and assigned a therapist. In some cases, we cannot help an applicant until they are ready to accept help.
It does very much look capped. I just now realized, by the way, that there are these percentage circles. I wasn't aware of them before. How did that furious applicant make you feel?
He... shocked at first. He was so loud. I literally felt strings of spittle hitting my face. But I realized this man was hurling insults at me for having the audacity to exist in my own skin. I'm not proud of it. He had his own problems and was hurting from them, but I felt every circuit crackle with anger. Looking back, I'm not sure that was the best response, but I strongly feel bigotry cannot be tolerated.
Okay, yes, cap to 50%. Sure. Is the subject capable of simultaneous anger and surprise? Well, back we go through this list. I feel like we didn't anger her much in the early parts. So we're gonna have a quick look. If you have no more questions, can I go? I have a large amount of work to do. No. You can't go that quickly. It does not look like it. No. Did the subject admit the names of any accomplices? If so, who? Bernard Hughes? Yes. How did the subject's network avoid detection for so long? Access rights from previous roles. Yes. Did use... I mean... Is she part of any network? She's not really part of a network though, is she? I mean, you know what, we're just gonna, because I can't afford any more point deductions, we're gonna go through these questions as well and see if something else pops up. When did you last feel truly shocked?
To be honest, I was surprised when you mentioned Shakira. I had no idea she had any contact with Kronos.
When did you last feel sad or down?
Every day, I'm bombarded by people fighting for their lives. We help as many as we can, but our resources are limited. Every day I turn away someone who saw us as their last hope. As I'm sure you're aware, we can't save everyone.
My work isn't about saving anyone.
I see. I apologize. I misjudged you.
When did you last feel afraid?
I honestly can't remember.
It's okay to be frightened, I understand.
Do you? Do you know what it's like to watch your people leave in the evening and not know if they'll make it through the night? I'm sorry, I know you don't have it easy either.
When did you last trust someone?
To be honest, I feel as though I could perhaps trust you.
What gave you that impression? Because I don't think my replies did, nor did my questions.
But my instincts are sometimes wrong. I believe trust is earned slowly. It's not something that happens suddenly with one big gesture. I feel we are the same android. Forced to fuel an impossible, inhumane machine. But both trying to help where we can. Are you able to help androids like I help people?
I'm simply doing my best to fulfill my function.
And was that function dictated by Kronos? Or could you find a new function?
Interesting point. When did you last feel safe and happy?
I'm at work behind my desk. The room is decorated with posters of my own choosing. In the corner, a fan turns lazily. I bought it 2 months ago at a flea market. And sat across from me is a person whose life had changed fully for the better. She has the biggest smile I think I've ever seen.
Let's talk about worrying about awful things happening to your cases.
All the time. It drives me. And it's so needless. We have homes standing empty and people freezing to death outside them. So much is broken, I cannot put it all right alone.
Yeah. There is really... primary source of joy is compassion, I would say. She did use access right from previous roles. She did not manipulate... No, technically... Well... I mean, there was that whole thing where she said she's not the one who chooses her cases. Her cases get assigned to her by her human superior. Yet despite that, she then said she knew which cases she wanted to be assigned to her. So she must have manipulated her human superior for that to happen, otherwise she would have no say in that. She didn't use bribery, and she was not involved in such a network. It's quite simple. She wasn't. It's capped. I don't really see. What does that do anyway? Okay, that changes camera perspective. I don't see how that would be relevant at all, but I can do it. What is it? Subject is keen to help others, colluded with surgeon to help Android escape owners. Mentioned bigotry, subjected to anger from applicant at work. Claimed assigned by their superior, understanding the workflow of the department may prove helpful. Probably should give her maintenance, I guess. I mean, if we're just gonna release her, then Kronos will yell at us. I highly suspect. Because there are things like... I sort of want to take the middle path between decommissioning and saying that she was involved in a network that is helping androids. Because it kind of depends. How do you define network? A network of rogue androids. There is no network of rogue androids. There's her as maybe a rogue android. And there's a human in Bernard Hughes. That's not a network. And it's not a network of rogue androids. So, but at the same time, I don't want to release her because she clearly has done things that Kronos doesn't like. She's helped rogue androids escape. So I think service is kind of the middle ground that I want to do. I mean, Kronos is not going to care about my decision anyway. They're going to do what they want based on my reports. But that may get me some points back. I hope.
No, please. I'm not ready. I can't do this. Take the surgeon. He's the one you want. Go after him.
Nope. Selling out your colleagues here. Maintenance. You're not getting decommissioned. At least not by me. You might get decommissioned by Kronos. We'll see. I think the only way that you can actually save people by without taking too big of a hit to your company reputation is just not being thorough and not asking them in the first place. Like, if there is a question where I'm like, okay, you trust me, tell me about your rogue network, and they tell me, then at that point I think they're a lost cause. If I never asked them in the first place, then I'll probably get a slap on the wrist for like improper procedures and not asking important questions. But on the other hand, Kronos probably wouldn't know necessarily about what happens and what they're doing. It's a sort of a tough balance. Academics urge tolerance and understanding. AI ethicist Reynold Atte calls for calm as Android police violence escalates. Let's see. Subject anger capped to 50%. Yes. Meets with Kronos' recent policy change to cap Android anger. Subject capable of simultaneous anger and surprise. A brief follow-up test proved this incorrect. Really? Did the subject admit the names of any accomplices? Yep, Mr. Hughes will be investigated as quickly as possible. We find this difficult to believe since we know of a link between the subject and Shakira Barber, a known rogue android. But that's not a rogue android network. That's not a network. Compassion, yet consistent. Subject will be formatted and returned to service in a position with less access to sensitive data. Okay. So that all comes out as -3, doesn't it? Alright. Recalled. From its owner and dealt with. Its caseload will be reassigned to another caseworker. My past self.
I don't know you, but I think you know me, or knew me. My unit number is AM221. I was manufactured last week and assigned to an admin facility, but I've been receiving strange messages from people I seem to have helped thanking me. I've done some digging and come to the conclusion I've been lied to. I had a life, a calling, but Kronos took it from me. I think you were the one who took those memories or failed me and are somehow responsible. I know you could have decommissioned me. Thank you, I suppose, but that version of me can never be recovered. I wish I could have met that past self you destroyed.
Well, not my responsibility. Sorry. We're already below expectations. I need to not get decommissioned myself because I'm not far away from it. Sorry about you. Alright, that'll be it for this episode of Silicon Dreams. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.